Hey you guys, it's me Paco, and welcome back to Bad Witch Books. Today we're going to be doing my October reads and my November TBR. So let's get to it. But first, let's get in the spirit. Where's my trusty witch hat? It's not the full costume I wore for my witch brew tag, but it's here. Okay, so let's start with the first book I read in October. Was my book club pick, because I have a book club with some that I have on this channel. We had our first meeting this month, and the first book was The Year of the Witching by Alexis Henderson. This book is about Emmanuel. She is a girl. She grows up in this very religious village. It comes off almost a cult-like how this village is, and the religion is used to oppress the people, especially women and people of color. And our main character is a biracial as well. And she finds out that her mom was supposed to marry, I guess, the leader of this group, but instead she ran away to the forest to where the witches were. And it has some spooky stuff to do with that. I don't want to get too much into the plot and ruin it for people, but I enjoyed it. I gave this book a 3.95 stars. Really enjoyed it. It was good spooky read for this time of year. And so yeah, that's all I gotta say. Check out the book club. It's on the channel. The video's on the channel if you want to. So the next read I read this month, so I listened to a whole series. I finished the David trilogy. So City of Brass, Kingdom of Copper, and Empire Gold. So I listened on audiobook to all 3 books, and oh my god, I think I got a new favorite series. This trilogy was really, really good. It is about Nari. She is a girl living in Egypt all alone on her own, and she uses some abilities she was born with to help swindle people out of money, and also her big dream is to be a healer. One day she chants in a language that only she knows in a performance, and she accidentally summons a Jinn warrior that takes her on to the magical city of Daevabad. And then we also get a another perspective of the prince of that magical city, Prince Ali. I love this series so good. I think Kingdom of Copper might be my favorite, but I also Empire of Gold might be my favorite in the trilogy, but I really, really loved the second book. I really loved Kingdom of Copper, but Empire of Gold was an amazing ending. I know some trilogies and fantasy series, the endings kind of fall flat, but this was a really good one. It's a big, chunky book. I listened to the audiobook. I think it was 27 hours, but amazing. It didn't feel slow or anything. So I'm going to give the series overall 5 amazing stars, 10 stars if I could. Yeah, the first one's alright. The first one is a little slow, but after that, the ending of the first book, it picks up, and I enjoyed the first one, even though it ran a little slow for a little bit. It still picked up and was amazing. So I love that. The next book, the last book I read of the month, the next book, but also the last, was The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. I just got my OwlCrate edition. I I bought another copy to read. But, yeah. So this is the OwlCrate edition. Beautiful. We love it. I give this book a 3.95 stars. I enjoyed it. But it took me forever to read. It took me basically all of October, because I physically read Year of the Witching and finished that by October 5th or 6th. And then I started Addie, and I liked it. I'm not going to say it was a bad book. It was just, there were some characters that, let me rewind. What is the book about? Addie LaRue, if you do not know, is about a girl, Addie, she lives in Paris, not Paris, she lives in France. In the 1800s, I want to say. Yeah, she's... No, in the 1700s. She lives in France, and she doesn't want to get married. She doesn't want to be tied down, and so she makes a deal with like the god that answers at night. And she makes a deal with him to become immortal, basically. But every time she leaves the room or she like finishes with somebody, they forget her, so she can't be remembered until one day somebody remembers her. So I enjoyed the book. I did not love it as I was hoping to. So there's that. But yeah, I liked Addie. I loved our main character Addie, and I liked her like connection and her interactions with this dark god, that they would interact with each other. I just did not care for it as much as our main male character, Henry, the one who remembers her. I just did not care for him, and then he got a part. We had like his backstory, and that part is where I was like, oh, I don't want to read right now. I want to do something else. I think it did not help that I was like listening to at the same time this amazing series. So I was like, I could read this or be listening to this and do something else. And so I think that also did not help. But I enjoyed it. Like I said, 3.95, 4 stars, not a bad rating. So it's just not a favorite. So let's go on. So in November, I plan to read these books. I do not know if I'll get to all of them, knowing my track record. But we're going to hope and see. You really gotta... My dog's right here. My baby. Really? You know Papa's filming. Okay. So the first book I'm going to mention is my book club, the Enchanted Forest book club pick for November. We are doing The Fault Court. And that's like supposed to be whimsical and like just like that. And so the book I chose is Where the Dreams Descend by Janelle Angelis. This is a book about... I don't know much about it, and that's kind of a good thing, so I want to know not much. But it's about a group of magicians. I guess they have to compete in a contest, and like some magicians start disappearing and dying, and it like takes place in a carnival or fair. I think it's the Moulin Rouge retelling, if I'm correct. But I try not to know too much about it. This is the Alcrate edition. But yes, this will be our November book club pick, and our November meeting will take place on the 12th of November at 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. So join us for that, and let's get to the other books. So the next book I really want to read in November is Kingdom of the Wicked. I am currently listening to... I have the book here somewhere, but I'm currently listening to Carrie, the author, Maniscalco's Stalking Jack the Ripper series. I am currently listening to the last book, and I enjoyed those. I gave those, the ones I've listened to, 3.5, 4 stars. Really good. But this one screams to me. It's about like a witch and a demon who have to like team up in Italy or something like that, and like bad witch books. That's all you gotta say for me to want to read it. But next we have Lightbringer, which is the last book in the Imperium trilogy. I really like the Imperium trilogy. Furyborn was my favorite book of 2018 when Furyborn came out. One of my favorite books of that year, Kingsbane, was not as much my love, but I enjoyed it nonetheless. I'm excited for the last book of the series. If you don't know what the Furyborn series is about, it is about 2 girls, Riel and Elena. And they are separated by 1,000 years, and they both have these like great powers. One is the Blood Queen, one is the Sun Queen. We don't know which one's which, and how they connect over these 1,000 years. Really good. The first, like I said, Furyborn was one of my favorite books of 2018, so I recommend it. One of the next books I really want to get into, like I said, I should have put this one first, but I'm unorganized, we all know this, is Capturing the Devil. I'm currently listening to this on audiobook. It is the last book of Stalking Jack the Ripper series, and it's about... This one is... Audrey and Thomas are now in America. They're in New York, and they have to solve the murders. I think it's the White Devil murders they're trying to solve. But yeah, it's the wrap-up to the series. I'm excited. I have enjoyed the other 3 books. I really love her atmosphere she builds, and the aesthetic that she has for her just the settings and stuff. So I'm excited to see how this one comes out. I also really love Thomas and Audrey. Okay, last book I really want to read this month is going to be Sun. I've heard nothing about good things about this book. I don't know what it's really about. I believe it is a, like, native, something, like, it has to do with, like, it's, like, a native world or something like that. Should know what it's about, but I'm really trying not to go into knowing it about. But I've heard nothing but great things about this, and, like, look at this cover. This cover is gorgeous. But, yeah. So that is what I plan to read in November. I will see you guys soon. Like I said, remember the November book club book. I'll pick up the book again. Where Dreams Descend. Our book club video will be up on November 12th. Tune in. But yeah, I try to post new videos Mondays. If I don't, I'll try to maybe do a reading sprints live if I can't get a new video up on Mondays like I did this last week. But please subscribe if you haven't. Find me on Instagram at Bad Witch Books and Twitter at Bad Witch Reads. I will see you guys later.